Raistlin Majere. I realized I was synchronized to this character because of his being vegan. He takes the tests of high sorcery that changed him forever. He was regular looking until he took the tests of high sorcery in his 20s, and that's what changed him forever. They write that his ambitions, instead of taking on the white robes, like people would have expected, since he was mostly good, he took on the red robes, that is represented neutral. According to my dreams, the red robes have represented wanting to be left alone. He was cursed with golden skin and white hair, hourglass eyes that allowed him to see death everywhere. He could see the future and the past. He could see people aging in front of him, as if he could see what they would look like in the future. This is something that I've experienced because of people coming to me in my dreams in their elderly age. His golden skin might represent knowing what a person goes through when they're old and doing it at a very young age. His staff of mages represents my website. The talons kind of come from Napoleon Dynamite, where he asks, do they have large talons? It seems to connect me to something I'd like to do with the birds. Maybe Delamar would like to pick it up. Delamar would be his apprentice. I've been working with the birds, making music with them. Music made with the assistance of the wild animals I've called flow. Really flew with that squirrel yesterday in that song. Sometimes I come across birds that are missing toes from frostbite, and so I've wanted to build something for them in some areas so that they don't have to miss their toes when it's too cold out. Raistlin acquired a cough during the grueling tests of high sorcery. I believe that this is because I started smoking in the goth scene while dancing, starting with clove cigarettes that were rumored to have fiberglass in them and made the lungs bleed. I think that they're trying to help my wife or whatever so that I would live longer and avoid smoking. The red robes have represented wanting to be left alone, because during my last relationship, when I first moved in with her, I was having dreams of another woman every night. I thought there were several different women coming to me, but now I realize it was very likely one woman, but coming from different time periods, and I prayed to a red robe to get her off of me, because I wasn't ready yet. Here we see the back of Raistlin. He's looking into the sky. Clouds might be taking what's loud, might represent hearing voices. The air element has represented marriage because of what it is in the pentagram for our ancestors. The idea kind of comes from mermaids and how 666 represented using water, stone, and air to put out the fire before it reaches the wood. Water would be tease, stone would be work or rejection until the work is done, while air would be the reward or marriage. The idea is getting a mermaid. Here we see Raistlin Majere surrounding and sharing the belt that he wears, as if proud of it maybe, or strict. He later put on the black robes when he betrayed his party that were sinking into the water. That might represent drinking, while he chose a different path that was toward tea. So that would make sense how he could lose his marbles and how he could connect to dragons because of more addictive substances and people potentially using them to get closer to somebody or to make them addicted. His hourglass eyes see the future. He's cursed to seeing people in their elderly age. The Addams Family. Da-na-na. Is that 4 snaps? Is that like a rectangle? Here he is kneeling, bowing. Here the pentagram is shown. Near the spot that is communication, his staff is brightly shown, as if he is showing the way of using it. Is this Raistlin or just somebody who hashtagged it? It kind of represents sexuality in a way, right here, because if we stop living because we fear death, which could be no longer having children, then we have already died. The red moon might represent an abortion. Here the runes are shown around his neck, which would mean using them to find a better place. It starts with the left foot, that would be saving yourself. Work, showing where the stone element is located. Try a new angle, eating better food with the trident upside down. And then going to heaven in the wood spot being the 5th. The hourglass is shown for the 6th spot. That would represent getting married. It's time for it. And it looks like there's a trident pointing down, reminding me to have healthy kids so they can get life fast. Here we are looking at a Dungeons and Dragons spell, Flaming Hands. Except that his thumbs aren't locked enough, are they? The chain going over his chest would represent the children from my dreams and being chained to them. Flame has represented passion a lot of the time. Here, Raistlin is sitting down on a green chair. Maybe the person that made this wants Chrysania. The first rune shown is what? Time. And then there's kind of a wall where he doesn't get to reach the air. And then the letter D is passing along the freshest. And then what's found next? Very funny. Here we are seeing what might be the Green Man prophecy, the great tree looming over Portland. It doesn't happen until Yamhill Street occurs, that is parallel to Taylor, as if I'd have to threaten to leave her if she doesn't change, become healthier for our children. 2 torches would represent you know what's lit or you know what's been shared already. The Trinity symbol represents getting married and no longer being the child that made mistakes. Here it looks like he is shown with Lord Soth maybe behind him. There is a blue flame. Does he agree to have his back? Is he reaching out and asking me to enjoy something? I used to think that this was my ex-girlfriend's father. Here it looks like there's Raistlin making a circle, has his staff. His palm is on fire as if there's passion to be found. And he's making a circle with it as if to share for those surrounding his staff. Here he is showing his left side, as if asking people to use the letter Q or the lineup. The name Raistlin would mean the letter R is a head on the Egyptian wall. It means heading. The letter A is caring. It means like empathy. It's when the god or goddess would have the head of an animal. It could be like a stockholder or somebody around close proximity of animals. The letter I means bringing justice or balancing, making sure everyone's cared for. The letter S is measuring what's entering the body. The letter T would mean gifting, marking in the future. The letter L would mean working, cutting off reward until the work is done. The letter I would mean the justice has been found, or the people have been served, or things have been balanced. And the letter N is loving, or eating and drinking for the brain and the gut. This looks like it's Raistlin with Bupu. The character Bupu, as synchronized as her, is actually extremely beautiful in real life. It seemed to make her out to be that way so that it would save more people, because we didn't know about the birds and how they were endangering people, because she was sleeping with other people behind my back, and the birds were really mean to those people and they were killing themselves. It's possible that if she wasn't synchronized as Bupu, we would have been together for longer, more people would have been hurt. Birds are actually very dangerous, and both of us were vegan. Here Raistlin is looking at the shadow of his staff. Is it going 4 ways? What did he do this for? Here Raistlin sees what's left, and it looks like the talons might be whole, since they're not shown on the staff. Here Raistlin is flipping the bird. Without the thumb or the index finger showing, it would mean giving life and accepting life. That would be because the middle finger is developing at the same time as the genitals inside the womb. Here Raistlin is making some soup. His brain is on the left mind side. On the upper left of the painting, it shows an eyeball representing sharing and surrounding, and T, that is gifting or marking in the future. So it's like saying I should watch people prepare my food. Maybe that's because of what I'm working on being so big and coveted. Here is a joke, obviously. Yes, I am smarter than all of you, and someday all of you will call me master. The red moon is being cut off, so it would suggest maybe he is baiting somebody. Here it shows the runes that be taking him to a better place, going around what's next. This picture of Raistlin looks like it's trying to describe how he sees the future and how the air would be connected to his hand. It could be because of a colony of bacteria living inside of us. I believe that the small intestines is where the memory is kept. A colony of bacteria living inside of us is always connected to what's living not only in the past, but also the future. I dreamt of my ex-girlfriends before I met them, but we weren't intimate like the one I'm dreaming about now. Here it shows Raistlin. It shows that it's hurting him, possibly, to have his poem like that. Here it is showing Raistlin. Lightning has represented becoming famous, and the poem is becoming brighter. Here's Raistlin looking through a spell book. I believe a person forgets their spell because it's the subconscious mind asking us to keep what is negative in the past. A good example of casting a spell would say, "You were crazy," instead of "you are crazy," or "you will be crazy," because "you were crazy" will mean that you're putting it in past tense, and you should let it go. forget about it. Raistlin is holding the staff. He is looking into the left mind. That would be like checking the ratings, how many people went to my website, maybe. Here, Raistlin is showing himself in red and a green to leaf. Probably everybody else. He's ambitious, but he has a lot of self-control. Here, Raistlin looks kind of upset. The scroll looks like it greens to what is seen. Greens to look out. Greens to put what is negative in the past, maybe. Is that a spell scroll? Raistlin here is holding a staff. His fingers are shown. What is he doing? Here, Raistlin is seen with this tea. This tea is needed to kill his pain. I am on medication. I believe it's the reason why it ends with him suffering. Because whenever I'm living with my next partner, I promise myself to get off of my pain medication. Here, Raistlin is seen coughing blood onto his fist. This, I believe, is because it connects to Fist of Dauntless. And since my dad was in a movie that shows a skull on his fist, it's like saying it hasn't happened yet, and you can change the future. Here, Raistlin is hooked up to an air device, as if he's connecting to the air, and he's trying to cut off something else that is on the left mind side. I wish I could read this. I'll find out what it says, though, someday. Here, Raistlin is in front of the black moon. That is represented having a daughter. That drives me crazy. Because of having 3 sons in my dreams, there are 3 moons in Dragonlance. This here shows a glowing pinky that goes to where the water element is found on the receiving arm. So that would mean surrender to what you have teased. Here's Raistlin in front of the portal to the abyss. The portal to the abyss is represented a monitor to Twitch TV or something like that. Since the Queen of Darkness or Takasis would be Taylor or Fork Girl cosplay, I was having dreams of her being the Flower Girl and someone like a best friend. I would talk to her all night, wake up feeling like my friend was gone. Here, Raistlin is seen with Delamar behind him. Delamar has represented an apprentice or somebody inspired by me. The word Delamar has father, LA, mother heading. I might be a lot more inspiring to homosexuals to become straight. The purpose of the Trinity not getting married and putting it behind you. Absolutely beautiful pictures. Letter B means warning. Y is usually a line between good and evil. Green around the neck would mean a green for what is next. There are 2 white bracelets on his wrist, so it would mean you know what is right to connect the wrist. That would be with what I created to rekindle my relationship with my wife. Every year we'll be using an ankh and carrying the fabric, bringing pre-death funerals to people, and the ceremony will have the fabric unwrap the wrist and then be wrapped around her hand on the 8th of November, the day of air. Here, Raistlin is seen with shorter hair, and he is showing his right ear. That might represent a female musician coming on to me. Here, Raistlin is showing the passion in the air. Fire would represent passion, and air would represent wife or reward. Lightning would represent being famous, and the index and middle finger would represent accepting the direction of life. Here, Raistlin is shown. There are windows that are diamonds in the upper left side. That would be for the right mind. Here, Raistlin is seen with bright mist behind him. It might represent the last person I slept with becoming smarter. Here it is showing his hair is pulled back and going to the moons. There are 2 moons there, so it would mean you know your daughter, seeing what is right. Are his eyes extra creepy there because the chair he sits in is the same chair he sat in as a kid when he painted Takasis, the Queen of Darkness? Having the left foot first would mean waiting for the right partner. Would wait for the right partner. A glowing book like this would mean having an excellent memory. What this would mean right here is covering up the T's. That looks like a female version of Raistlin. Is that Raistlin? There's Raistlin showing a poem that is famous on his website. This right here might be asking me not to share the artwork of other people, just myself on my website. Music, I was talking about music. Like they don't agree with my music. What is this above his palm that he sees in the air? Here's Raistlin leaving notes with his tea. This is Raistlin shooting from his palm. Raistlin looks caught in some kind of passion found in the air. What is that green sack he's holding? The greens to pay it back? I'm not sure I understand this one completely. I like all the paintings from Raistlin. This one might be asking him to put an end to bullying. Here he is, seeing what is right in his hair. Here he is, communicating about the bright poem and finding himself in the air. Here it shows Raistlin agreeing with his palm, and so his daughter's rights are being cut off. Here's Raistlin saying what is right. Loud air behind him. He looks kind of scary in this one. Here is Raistlin. Is he becoming mad because of the 3 moons? Maybe his daughters will drive him crazy. The left arm is represented hooking up other people or creating a lineup for them. Having it in those locations would mean rejecting the partner of my daughter. This one seems to be asking me to share more. I would love to see this. This is making me want to watch it right now. I haven't even seen it. What is so bright about that loin area? What is he looking at as he sees what's left? This would represent seeing the direction that he gave in his website. This would represent being ready for the next one. Not sure what kind of staff that is, but it would mean know that you're ready. This one looks funny. So this one right here would represent teasing somebody. He's wearing the red robe, so it's like, get off of me. He has his left foot first. That would be waiting for the right person. But he's pointing at the location that would mean a temporary reward or premarital relations. This one might be asking me if my rod is famous in the sky. This one seems to be asking me to have more interest in ancient artifacts. This one looks like he is upset because the air is an X. But it is found on the left foot side. So it's like saying, don't break up with her. I'm not sure I understand this one. This would be the look he gives that is asking for somebody to return. This is showing what, his direction becoming famous? I'm not sure I understand this one. Passion in the palm again. That would mean accepting his direction. This would be calling for more of what he's addicted to. This one seems to be warning me about addictions, of course. This one, he's probably looking above the head of Chrysania. He might be worried. Is there a halo? Are there horns? What are the horns for? Who are they for? Who is that behind him? I guess this might represent concern of STDs. Solace, June 17th. Caramon, what is this? Your birthday present, Race? Solace has been Utah. I can understand that joke. Mormons haven't wanted people to follow me. But I would only say that's true with certain members. Probably concerned, I would say something negative. Here he is showing glowing passion in his hair, or in the air. The artist here might be in love with Chrysania, because it might be asking to green to leave the tree. Green to leave pot? What do you see?